going to be doing the same movement again, this kind of cupping around that occipital point, but I'm going to work my way up the side of the scalp. So I'm going to start at the base and I'm moving. That's it. I'm just going to place this onto the shoulders and onto the forehead as well. So you're taking on that lovely essential oil. Welcome to my studio. It's so lovely to have you along, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to be doing an Indian head massage today. So I was already saying to you earlier that you have amazing hair. I'm already touching it now. For the purpose of it being filmed, is do the Indian head massage seated. The reason for that is we can do an Indian head massage lying down, but visually we can do it seated and see all those lovely movements that we do with the hair and with the scalp. So this is a really nice taster and an idea of what Indian head massage looks and feels like from a seated position. So hopefully you and hopefully your viewers will really enjoy it.
Oh, thank you so much.
My pleasure. So what we'll do is we'll begin this treatment with a little bit of calming, relaxation, and just coming back into the now, back into the body. Then we'll do a little bit of work around the shoulders, the scalp, and then I'm going to finish with a couple of points on your face. And I think you've got just a little bit of makeup on, but that doesn't matter because I'm literally just going to be pushing into these little points around the face that help. They're so lovely, help to relieve pressure. You're going to have a lovely sleep tonight, hopefully, as well, which is great. So have you got any questions, or are you ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm ready to relax. I'm excited.
Ready to relax. Good.
Thank you.
So you notice I'm just already placing the hands onto the shoulders, and this is just a really nice, gentle way of me saying this is us coming into the calm space now where you can relax. I know you don't have any allergies or you don't have any health conditions, so what I'm doing now is just bringing you into this space where you can feel calm and supported. It's a safe space and you don't need to respond to anything from here on out. So just close down the eyes if they're not closed already. Yeah, that's nice. Just close down the eyes. And just feeling that gentle pressure on the shoulders. Just bringing you into the space, into your body, and into this beautiful treatment that we're going to be doing today. Often we're breathing up into the neck and the shoulders, but you actually want to take the breath down into the tummy. And when you do that, that's instantly just going to make you feel more calm. Yeah, so feel the belly rise and fall as you breathe. Yes. And by doing that, you're taking the breath away from the neck and the shoulders and the chest. When we breathe up in the chest, it means our breathing isn't as efficient. It puts us into more of a state of stress. Take the breath down into the belly. Instantly, we feel more calm. And our breathing is more efficient, more full. That's really nice. And the breath is never forced. It's always just calm. Just bringing you back into the space, into your body. And just know that this time is for you. That's really good. What I'm going to do to begin the session is just cleanse the space, the aura, with a little bit of sound and also sage as well. I'm just going to grab a little bit of sage from over here. Let me see if I can find. sage is a really beautiful essential oil, but a lot of people will use like an incense of sage as well to cleanse a space. When we talk about cleansing space, cleansing your aura, essentially we're all, I'm just going to place this onto the shoulders and onto the forehead as well. Maybe just as you breathe, as much as you're breathing into the belly, just take the breath through the nose as well. So you're taking on that lovely essential oil. And so yeah, when we're talking about energy and then cleansing our aura, essentially we are all vibrating on different frequencies. So I'm vibrating on one frequency, you're vibrating to a different frequency. Everybody is vibrating to different frequencies. And as well as that, different spaces have different frequencies as well. And so if you're around somebody that's super positive, often you leave that space feeling positive yourself. If you're around somebody negative, you're going to leave maybe feeling a bit down in the dumps. But what we want to be able to do is not be super affected by those different frequencies. When we come home, we want to just take time to breathe, relax, and rid some of that energy that we've taken on throughout the day. Space can also hold different energy and frequency as well. A lot of people say they feel more calm by the ocean, or, you know, it's quite awe-inspiring to be around a mountainous landscape. And so, good or bad, we do want to come back home to our own natural vibrational frequency at the end of each day to help us feel less drained, help us to feel more calm. And so sage is one of those ways that we can cleanse a space and cleanse an aura. We can also use sound. So I'm just going to use a little bit of sound now just to cleanse a space. That's really good work, breathing into the belly still. Sound is also a really beautiful way to just bring us back to the here and now, especially if we have a busy mind. And that's what I also find with a lovely Indian head massage as well, is a lot of times when people have massage, a lot of people come to me for reflexology as well, when we're working so far away from the head and the scalp, it can, if you do have a busy mind, it can kind of prevent people from fully relaxing. Whereas when you're working with the scalp and the head and the neck, these areas that are so close to our mind, and if we're an overthinker, we can end up just getting lost in our thoughts. But when we work on the scalp and we apply pressure here, then it can be a great way to help you stay in the now and in the treatment. It's really nice work with the breath. So already starting to feel more calm, which is amazing. I'm going to talk through the treatment for the purpose of the video, but also because often when clients come in and they're maybe a little bit anxious, maybe a little bit het up, maybe they have a lot going on, that voice can be a really great way to help people, again, just come back into the treatment, to step away from the chaos of the mind, the busy mind. Now, normally an Indian head massage would be done, or I would normally do an Indian head massage laying down. And we would begin with an upper back massage and then move into the scalp work. And then we'd finish the treatment lying on the back and do a couple of points on the face. Today, we're going to do a couple of different acupressure points on the shoulders and down the arms and also across the chest. I'm going to work on the scalp and then we're just going to do a couple of points on the face as well, which will be really calming. Alright, so I'm just going to move the hair over to the side. Just making sure that nothing is going in the face too much. It's not too much of a problem if the hair does go forward a little bit, but I find if the hair goes right in front of the client's eyes, that you want to be pulling that back. Or sometimes when I do the neck and shoulder part, if we are ever seated for whatever reason, maybe the client can't lay down, then I would maybe just take the hair up in a little clip and we would pop it up out the way so that we don't need to worry about the hair. But in this case, I'm only going to be doing a couple of points on Melissa's shoulders. And already you're doing a great job on taking the breath down into the belly, which is allowing those shoulders to relax. I'm just going to just press gently on top of the shoulders. I'm just going to do acupressure points. If I was going to do massage, then I would use oil. All of these different points are really good for sending signals around the nerve endings to help bring our body back into balance and alignment. And some of these points potentially could feel sharp, so if they do feel too sharp, then you just let me know, okay? And it's really good because Melissa has her arms by her side and then resting on her legs, which is exactly what you want. Normally if the arms are all the way down, then the blood flow is she's gonna start getting maybe swollen or uncomfortable feeling in her hands. So where she is now is gonna be really good for the blood flow. Amazing. And I'm going to just turn slightly side on so that Melissa can then lean back into me a little bit just with her back. I'm just going to just place my hands just under the collarbone here. I'm just going to press along. Because especially if people have very rounded shoulders or if they struggle with confidence as well, a lot of people hunching forwards and pressing into these points of the chest, there's a little bit of tightness there actually, can really help to relieve pressure. Massage of the chest is actually super important if you experience back pain, because the chest often shortens with poor posture, and poor posture often links to our emotional well-being as well. I'm just going to do some brushing movements here. this is, talking about energy earlier, a great way just to signal that we're just ridding the body of any negativity. And it's also nice when we're having a treatment to mix up the soft and the hard, different textures and ways of moving through the treatment. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the scalp. And when you have an Indian head massage, we're working essentially with the fascia. So there is like a thin sheet of muscle, very surface layer underneath the skin called the fascia. And this fascia wraps around pretty much the whole body. And the best way to release pressure from the fascia through the body as a whole is through gentle touch, gentle massage, and gentle stretch. But when it comes to the scalp, we want to get that fascia moving. So when I'm putting pressure on Melissa's scalp, I'm trying to actually not so much just move my fingers across the skin. It's more take hold of the skin and move that around. And that's going to get the fascia moving, get the blood to this area, and get some blood flow going, which, as we know, or maybe we're unsure of it, but when we get that blood to the surface, it can really help aid recovery and just be great for ridding the body of toxins. But it's really important to be aware that when you have any form of scalp massage, it doesn't have to be Indian head massage, it can be any form of scalp massage, because we're working right up here where, you know, you've got so many eyes, ears, so many different points that can hold tension. Often if people hold a lot of tension and they then go ahead and have an Indian head massage, it can bring all the rubbish up to the surface essentially. So you have to be prepared that maybe for the first 24 hours you feel a little bit under the weather, and then the benefits come in sort of at that 48-hour mark. And so when you have an Indian head massage, we're going to be aware of how we might feel afterwards. But we're also aware that 48 hours is when we're really going to feel those amazing, lovely benefits from this beautiful treatment. Okay, and it's really important as well that after something like this you have loads of water and you look after yourself as well, that you're nice and calm and you're not doing anything upbeat this evening as such. Alright, so we begin this treatment, or the scalp part of the treatment, just by working the fingers through the hair. Now, we're not trying to be like a hairdresser. It doesn't actually matter if there is knots in the hair. We're just trying to give that feeling of fingers running through the hair, because that's just a lovely thing to feel. It's also a lovely thing to do, and as first thing I said to Melissa is she has amazing hair, so this is the ideal client to do an Indian head massage on. However, interestingly, you can do Indian head massage on people with no hair as well, because everybody has that fascia. Once we've combed through the hair, we are just gently stroking down the hair. And I would always normally ask my client if they would be happy for me to use oil in the treatment. But again, for the purpose of today's video, we're not going to use oil. Now we're going to introduce some pressure. So I'm going to bring my hands either side of the head and just press and lift and release. Press and lift and release. You can use quite a lot of pressure. You just got to check that your client's okay with it. So, I mean, that was quite medium pressure. Did that feel okay?
Yeah, felt lovely.
Okay, perfect. So once we've got that pressure, we can then start to incorporate some movement. And the thing I love about this treatment is it makes a good noise. So especially if you have a busy mind, then you've got that distraction of the sound as well, which can just, again, just bring you back into your body. And it's always nice just in between those different techniques just to come back to this nice stroking movement. Okay. So this is where I'm going to start actually moving that fascia around on the scalp. This is the movement probably a lot of us know. A lot of movements like this is what people tend to do when they feel stressed anyway. They might just naturally go to this kind of clawing motion with the hands. When you're working seated, it's always good to get more pressure by just placing the front hand to the forehead so that I can sort of press Melissa's head sort of into my hand and apply a bit more pressure, like so. Back to those lovely strokes. I'm going to pay some attention now to the occipital bones at the back of the head, around the neck. So we essentially have the neck running up and then joining to the scalp, and then sort of either side of the spine we have these 2 points that we're going to massage into and link to the nervous system. So when we massage these points, it can really help us to feel more calm. So I'm going to be using the heel of my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and just place the heel of the hand there, and then the other hand onto the forehead. Good. We'll do that on the other side. Okay. And then again, just stroking, just coming back to these movements every time. They're really beautiful movements. But again, just break up the different techniques. I'm going to be doing the same movement again, this kind of cupping around that occipital point, but I'm going to work my way up the side of the scalp. So I'm going to start at the base, and I'm moving, that's it, both the fascia, but also the hair as well. You can see I'm using my arm as well to support Melissa's head. And even just when we play with the hair, which is just a very nostalgic thing, it can be really comforting for a client. And just when we do that, it's important that we've finished the movement, so we come all the way down to the very ends of the hair. there's something really lovely about finishing that movement. And even though, you know, your client doesn't necessarily feel the hair being touched, they feel and they know when you've reached the very ends of the hair. So always really nice to work all the way down. Okay. So now we're going to do some more chopping movements. And for this we want a bit of drama. So we're going to try and really get the hair moving. And it's just to, again, stimulate that blood flow. And it's important to incorporate both soothing movements and energizing movements as well. Often at the start I might have a discussion with the client, you know, what they're looking to get out of the treatment. Maybe if they just want it to be nice and calm, maybe we'll do just more of the smooth movements. Or if they want to feel energized, maybe more of these movements. We can then tap as well, like raindrops over the scalp. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to do this pulling of the hair. And believe it or not, pulling the hair does actually feel quite nice. You just have to check in with your client. Does that feel okay if I'm doing that?
Feels okay.
Yeah, okay. So, twisting the hair, and that is going to stop it from tangling too much as well. But that gentle pressure, pulling of the hair is actually really nice. And it can be a really nice release of pressure. Okay. And of course, if somebody has shorter hair, like if I have a man come for Indian head massage, which is really lovely at the minute, quite a lot of men are having this treatment because not that many men are very open with their emotions, but it seems more recently that a lot more men are looking after themselves and practicing self-care. And so when I have somebody with shorter hair, then I will just kind of take little strands and pull like that, so there'll be no twisting. And for no hair, of course, we just miss out that part of the treatment, but it's very inclusive. I would recommend this treatment for anyone who suffers with headaches, anxiety, stress, insomnia. It's just a nice all-round treatment. This is a long treatment as well, so I'm just kind of showing you an idea of what you might see in a treatment like this. But it has endless possibilities, and there's so many more things we can do with the scalp. So I'm just gonna actually move on at this point. As much as I love playing with your hair, I'm going to move on to the points on the face. And these are acupressure points that improve the distribution movement of lymph, so they're really good for ridding toxins from the body. So at this point I'm going to turn side on, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to get you to lean back a little bit into me. That's it, just so you can put your pressure from your head and your back into me. I'm just going to do a couple of different points. These are amazing points to do on yourself. Along the eyebrows. We know this point right here at the side. And then we can go the side of the nose, down, and then we pull up. And we work along the cheekbones. And you can, especially if you're doing it on yourself, it's really nice because you can put as much pressure as you like. Okay. And then we move from there down just to the top of the mouth. And then the chin. And finally, along the jawline. Okay, I'm going to just finish this treatment with a nice lift from the scalp. So the hand comes just to the base of the scalp, top of the head. And I'm going to ask you, Melissa, just take a deep breath in when you're ready. And then exhale. Good. We're going to do 2 more of those. Deep breath in. And exhale. And then 1 more. Deep breath in. And exhale. Just gently lifting the scalp as she breathes in. And we'll just come calm for a moment. Amazing. You feel okay?
Yes, wonderful.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to just step out now and leave you to have a drink of water, and then I'll pop back in a few moments, okay?